anxiety, tells you you're hung up in depression and you'll never get past it, don't listen to what the enemy is calling you. It only matters what you answer to. So when the enemy says you're depressed, don't answer that call, because you're not. You're free. Galatians 5:1, no, the Son has set free are free indeed. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made you free. He's made you free. That's what you answer to. You don't answer to the enemy spouting lies at you. You answer to Jesus saying, no, I'm free in Jesus. Romans 12:10, we'll work through the verses really quick. That was verse 9. Verse 10 says, be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love. In honor, giving preference to one another. Be kindly affectionate to one another, brotherly love. Look at your neighbor and say, I love you. Or your sister beside you there. Tell them. You see, God encourages believers to love other people by showing them honor as an expression of our worship to the God that gave everything for us. The least He asked us to do in this scripture is to honor the people that you come in contact with. But if they treat you wrong, or they say this or act this way, He didn't give any prerequisites. If they act this way or that way, then you show honor. He just said, show them honor. Show them honor. Prefer them first. And God will take care of everything else. You see, part of honoring others and ourselves is establishing proper boundaries. Listen to me, high schoolers. Understand this in a different way. Part of honoring others and ourselves is establishing proper boundaries. Now listen. Boundaries communicate value for what is inside of those boundaries. So listen. If you have several junk cars out in a field, that's called an eyesore. If you put a fence around those cars, then you have a wrecking yard. And if you put a building around those cars, you have a garage. So with each increase of limits, you increase the value of what's on the inside. When you raise the level of what you require before you will allow access, you increase the value of what you have. You're worth way more than you realize you are. Look at your neighbor and say, you're worth a whole lot.
You're worth a whole lot.
To all who are near, when we send a clear message about the level of value that we have for ourselves, it's by the way we establish boundaries. You need to have a value and a level of who you are. Know who you are in Jesus. You're not what the enemy says you are. You are not what some so-called friends said you are. You're only what you answer to. You are a child of the King. You are a prince or a princess of King Jesus. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. Look at them and say, you sit beside royalty. All you girls dressed up in a little dress at some point, put your little tiara on. You said, I'm going to be a princess when you was little. Emily still does it.
Yeah, I do.
Romans 9:11 says, not lagging in diligence, but fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Serving God regardless. Everybody say regardless. When you serve God regardless of what others do or think, regardless of what you don't have, when you serve God regardless of how you feel, Ian, please sit up. When you serve God regardless, 12 things will happen in your life. God is honored. Jesus is pleased. The Spirit is freed in your life. Satan is infuriated. Your enemies are baffled. Your critics are silenced when you serve God regardless. The church is edified. Fellow friends that are struggling are encouraged when you serve God regardless of your circumstances. They see you still serving and pushing through and think, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. Outsiders are drawn to Jesus. You personally are strengthened. Your reward is great and your reputation goes through the roof when you serve God regardless. God's preparing you this week. No matter what you face this week at school or in your home life or whatever issue comes up, you got to serve God regardless. Verse 12, our final verse. It says, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing steadfastly in prayer. That's a tough one. I like all the other stuff that's good. I'm not gonna lag behind. I'm gonna be diligent. I'm gonna honor. I'm gonna respect. I'm gonna pray. Now all of a sudden it says rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation. That means when it's hard, when the trials come. But man, I just feel like I can't face it and I can't get through. It says patient in tribulation. And in that tribulation, continue steadfastly in prayer. That's the most critical time that you don't stop praying when you find yourself in the middle of a problem. So when you talk about your life, you ever find yourself talking about how hard it is? Have you ever wondered how you were going to make it and you thought, I just think I want to give up? Have you ever been tired of fighting and tired of struggling? Have you ever felt like when one problem was solved, a new problem arose in your life? Just like battle after battle, trial after trial, tribulation after tribulation. So let's look at this. We got 3 pots. This is my pretend stove, okay? In the first pot, now that I've had it on the stove for a little while, it's like a cooking show. You see me here, then you see me over here, then I'm at a different level. You're like, wait a minute. It's like a splash zone, like a SeaWorld, okay? Little carrot juice, make you, if it get in your eyes, it make you see better. These are carrots, okay? Put some carrots in the bowl of water, okay? Careful, don't touch the bowl of water though, okay? Because it will give you 3rd-degree burns, okay? And then, it's not really how you make coffee, but this works from illustrations, okay? Coffee. Yeah. Okay, it's close. I'm not a coffee drinker, but that smells good, doesn't it? You smell it? Come over here and smell it, Kevin. Does that smell good? Okay. If you boil all these items, when you finish with the carrots, what happens to the carrots? They get all mushy. Who said mushy? Yes, perfect. They get all mushy. When you boil an egg, it gets what? It gets hard, right? Right? And then all of a sudden now it's not runny anymore, right? Boil an egg. And then when you add hot water to your coffee, and all of a sudden so then, all of a sudden, you know, yes, put that pour it in here, and all of a sudden, voila, add a little whipped cream, boom. You have this wonderful coffee. It's made from that, right? So think about this. Each of these 3 objects faced the same adversity. All 3 of them faced boiling water. But each of them reacted differently to the boiling water. The carrot went in strong, hard, and unrelenting. However, after being subjected to the boiling water, it softened and became weak. The egg had been fragile, You know that, right? Isn't that what egg is? See how fragile that is? Its thin outer shell had protected the liquid center, but after sitting through the boiling water, it became hardened on the inside. Now the ground coffee beans, were unique though. After they're in the boiling water, they change the water. So which are you tonight? Are you the carrots? Are you the egg? Or are you the coffee grounds? When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Like a carrot, like an egg, or like a coffee bean? Am I the carrot that seems strong, but with pain and adversity do I wilt and become soft and lose my strength? Am I the egg that starts with a malleable heart, but changes with the heat? Do I have a fluid spirit, but after a death, a breakup, or some other trial, have I become hardened and stiff in my spirit, in my heart? Does my shell look the same, but on the inside am I bitter and tough with a stiff spirit and a hardened heart? Or am I like the coffee bean? The bean actually changes the hot water. The hot water affected the carrots and made them mushy and soft. The hot water affected the eggs, made the inside hard and stiff. The hot water didn't affect negatively the coffee beans. The coffee beans changed the water. The bean actually changed in that very circumstance that brought the pain. When the water gets hot, it releases the fragrance and the flavor of the coffee bean. If you're like the bean, when things are at their worst, you get better and you change the situation around you. When the hours are the darkest and the trials are the greatest, do you elevate to another level, or do you get soft, or do you get hard? How do you handle adversity? Are you like the carrot? Are you like the egg? Or like the coffee bean? That all of a sudden you affect what's around you. Didn't mean it didn't get hard. Didn't mean it didn't get tough. Didn't mean that he wasn't turned up in your life and man, am I going to make it through this? But when it was all said and done, bam, there's a finished product. That's some good stuff right there, isn't it? I mean, even this smells great. Yes. Doesn't it smell it? Yeah, she's like, it smells really good. And then back to all. Y'all can take sips on the way back if you want. She's like, please don't do that. Which are you? Which are you? So I believe you're set up tonight that some of you are right in the middle of an adversity. Man, you're right in the middle. Man, band, come back up. You are right in the middle of a trial, of a struggle, of a challenge, of a circumstance. Man, come on back up. That means come on back up. Right in the middle of a challenge that you have a decision to make. In the middle of what you're going through, what are you going to let it do to you? Are you going to change what's around you? That's what Christ wants for you. He wants you to change what's going on around you. He wants an aroma and a fragrance to come to you because of your heart and your walk with Him. He wants that to come out of your life. And all of a sudden, in the middle of it, you affect positively everybody you come in contact with. He does not want you, Christ does not want you to be like the hard-boiled egg. He doesn't want you to get a stiff, hardened heart. It's not what He wants. That's what the enemy wants. Doesn't want you to be soft and mushy and fall apart under pressure. Christ didn't think so much of you to die on the cross for you and put so much value in you for you to fall apart under pressure. I'm going to end with this. 1 Corinthians 10, and Leah,